Yo, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm going to be talking about how to set up your own template in Ableton, showing you a template that I made up, along with a ton of goodies that come in the template that is going to be free to grab for you guys in the description below. In this video, I'm going to explain how the routing works for everything and how you can use it to benefit you to get better mixdowns, better workflow, and overall better organization in your project. So if that sounds like something you're going to enjoy watching, feel free to hit that like button. And also, if you want to see more content, feel free to subscribe. It is free and we are growing as a community. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Switch. Yo, what is going on, guys? Real quick, before I get into this video, I forgot to mention one big thing about the template. Now, if you already know how to set up a template in your DAW, go ahead and skip to the next section. You're not going to know how to do this. But for those that do not know, I want to make sure you guys easily understand how to do this, because it's pointless for me to give you a template without actually knowing how to actually use it as a template. Okay, so what you're going to do is once you're in the project, which is the template, so once you grab the download and you open the Ableton Live file, which you have to be in Ableton Live 10. Mind you, I'm not in 11. So if you're in 11, this template does not work as well, which I'm sorry. But once I upgrade to 11, I'll make another template for you guys as well. Or those in 11 can obviously copy down all the stuff off here and make your own. Anyways, once you're in the project file, you're going to go to your options. You're going to go to your preferences. And you're going to be in this tab. Now from here, I think it opens an audio right at the get-go, but you just go down to file folder here and you'll say save current set as default. You hit save, and then anytime you open a new project, you're automatically going to get this template every time you open up. So I hope that helps, and we'll get back into the video. Alright, so here I am in my DAW, and before we get into everything and I show you all the routing, I first just want to let you know that this is a combination of everything I've kind of taken in throughout the years. This is no one's specific project, but I will tell you where I got my philosophies as I went on, so you know that, well, A, someone else that's actually more validated in the scene than me, and B, I can kind of explain more in depth of why I decided to do that. So, as you can see, as we first jump in here, which you will not have these markers here, or I can leave them in. I'll probably take them out. We have two groups. We have a non-drop group and we have a drop group. Why did I do this? Well, generally your non-drop is going to be quieter than your drop, and the easiest way to associate these is grouping them into different groups. So I learned this from Crank That on his Patreon a while back. This is how he's setting up his new projects from now on, is kind of drop stuff and non-drop stuff. And I really like the idea. So here we are in this non-drop stuff. Next thing you're going to notice is it's turned down off the get-go. It's turned down 15 dB, and the drop is turned down 14 dB. I actually learned this trick from Company. He said it somewhere. I forgot where he said it. He said on an interview that he starts at -15 and then puts his master utility up. And then that, when it comes time to mix down, you can turn off that utility. It leaves you plenty of headroom to mix and master at your own will, which, let me tell you, it's a lot easier to make something louder than it is to bring something down, because if you're already clipping and all that stuff and you bring down everything, that some things may not be brought down, it can just become a hassle. So that's why I did that. And on the master, I cranked it up 12 dB, and you'll be like, well, that's not 15 dB or 14 dB. That's just because I'm assuming you're going to probably mix pretty hot in the groups alone. That just leaves a little extra room for you to actually, clip if you wanted to. So yeah, let's dive into the groups themselves. Let me get rid of all this, by the way. All of it. Okay. So non-drop group here. You have a vocal group, you have a sidechain group, and you should have, wait, where are the drums? And the drums. There we go. I actually like it. Okay. So, vocal group, pretty straightforward. You're going to put your vocals in here. I only put one lane, but you can obviously expand it as much as you want. In the vocal group, you'll see I already did a low cut for you. Never will you ever need the low end in your vocal. Just doesn't sound good. It'll never sound good. You're never gonna need it. So already doing that for you. In the main, I have a vocal sauce. I don't really use this that much, but it's a great tool for a new producer that doesn't really understand how to add like space and depth and all that stuff to a vocal. This was from I think Reed Stefan made this, and I just copied it at the time. But I can show you how it makes a vocal sound. So we just have this here.
Change my mind.
Let me put my headphones so we don't get feedback, by the way. Sorry about that. Yep. All right.
Change my mind.
That's it dry, and then you add the vocal sauce, which is a ton of things, which is going to be just compression, flangers, filter, short and long reverb, and delays, and it turns into this.
Change my mind. Change my mind. Change my mind.
So, if you want to use this as a resource, it's there for you right off the get-go. You don't have to use it. That's why it's turned off originally. It will make your vocal louder, so make sure you have some headspace. That's one thing. Another thing that I set up are these returns that are great for vocals, and I already did the hard work out for you. So you have two specific ones for vocals. Well, I use it for. One's reverb and one's delay. So returns work as a parallel signal, as most of you know. And what it's pretty much doing is I'm sidechaining it to the vocal itself. So anytime the vocal is actually being transiently, like it's actually talking, the reverb's going to be suppressed, and when it stops, it's going to come up, which you can visibly see. So we'll add vocal reverb, which is A, and just watch down here as it talks, or the vocal's on. You'll see it's not going to actually trigger.
Change my mind.
And then when it went away, you heard that shimmer, right? So I can make it really dramatic, parallel,
Change my mind.
right? You can mix that to taste. Also do the same thing with a 1/4 delay. So if we get rid of the reverb, put on delay, hear it.
Change my mind.
So you can really get a nice vocal this way if you want to add some nice space like this.
Change my mind.
And you're still having a great dry signal itself. Coming in too soon, you can lower the threshold on the compressor. That will make it wait until there's less dry signal coming into it. But for the most part, right out the gate, it's phenomenal at what it does. So that's pretty much a vocal there. Next is going to be intro drum. I have a slot for your kick, your snare, and your extra drum. But if you wanted to add individual compression to your track, you can also, I made a thin right here that's literally parallel, and it's a D, so it would be this one, and you can literally parallel compress your drum if you wanted to. If you don't know much about parallel compression, don't worry about that one then, and you already have one on your channel. You're good to go for your intro drums. Next, I like to have a sidechain group. Sidechain group is literally going to be, you have your tops, which is going to be your hi-hat, open hi-hat, crash, rides, whatever you need here. I also cut out the stuff you don't need. If you want to lower it, you can, but generally I find 300 below you don't really ever need in tops. Synths, you have a slot. I haven't put anything in here, but you have slots for your synths, and I already put a sub in here for you. It's just a hip-hop sub bass preset. It's phenomenal for its stock. It does really well. I did not low pass this though, so you would have to do that, but you have all this set up for you, and all this is going to be set into a sidechain group. In the sidechain group, you're going to see I cut off below 20 hertz because you never need that because it's pretty much inaudible, but it is still energy, so it can mess with your master. And then what you do is you would take if say you have a drum, let's just drag in a kick real quick so I can show you, for example. I'm not even going to listen to it. We're just going to have this guy, right? So if that's a drum, you need a sidechain too. Take the gain of your sidechain. You'll look at, say, where the majority of your kick is. Let's say it's there. Pull down, round it, and all of a sudden you have a sidechain right there. So if you're playing a synth, which you know what, we'll do it for the sake of it. Let's just add one in real quick. Synth, there's got to be some loop. Sure. Is this even in the right spot? So you'll hear it get sidechain here. and you just can make your sidechain flavor. If your snare is longer than your kick, then there you go. You have full customization. You can duplicate that as one. Bada bing, bada boom. You have full control over that. Whoops, wrong button. So that's kind of how I set up the sidechain and all that stuff. For your synths, you'll also see that I have an EQ already here and a multi-band dynamic, so you can pull down and shape how you want. And your tops, I already showed you that high pass and then the group there. Oh, one more thing I want to show you is I added a stereo synth. So the cool thing is, let's add in something. Let's add a bass in real quick so I can show you. What's this? No, something. Cool. All right, so we have this, right? And then for some reason, let's say it's completely mono, which let me show you on Imager real quick, just so you guys can see what this stuff does. Okay, so we have a completely mono signal. That thin line is a mono signal. Now, one thing I added is a stereo send, which is literally very, very short, quick delay, and then a boost in your sides and a takedown in your mids. What this does gives you more stereo signal. So I pretty much reiterated this from Glades. He has a stereo send that he showed me, and I made it Ableton friendly pretty much. And so it's C here. So you have a completely mono signal, right? If we add stereo, so if something's ever too mono, besides your sub bass, don't ever add stereo to your sub bass. You can always add something. So if something needs to be a little wider, hey, you don't have to go into your project and mess with it. You can just add it, and you can hear it here. That's what you're adding. So when you put it all together, you get a nice without, with. Yeah, so a really, really great tool for if something's too mono. So I wanted to show you the guys that. It's phenomenal. I use that send quite often on stuff. Okay, so that pretty much does it for the non-drop group. Now we go into the drop group. Drop group, you're going to be like, whoa, this looks really familiar. Do here, collapse everything. You'll see it looks very familiar. Just the only difference is synths is a different color and there's a vocal group. Your non-drop group. Anyways, drop group, what do we got? So we should have, I need to put this EQ here and cut out anything below 20 because you don't ever need that. So drop group, kick and snare. You have a full parallel. I got rid of the little rumble in you'll never need of a kick. And you have your drop, kick, and snare. Pretty self-explanatory. Sidechain group. We have our tops. Drop ride, crash, hi-hat. You can always add more, of course. And once again, cutting out that low end you'll never need. Now we have drop synths, which is going to follow the same thing. You have synths and your sub, which I just put the hip-hop sub bass in again because it's a phenomenal Ableton stock sub if you don't know what you want to use. Now in the drop synths, once again, multi-band dynamics, EQ with that low end cut. I use that often just because I never really need that low end energy. And you're going to notice there's a Whey Space Rack. And this is something that I want to make really easy for you guys. And all it is a ton of different space materials. So let's bring in bring in something short. Oh, okay, that I can deal with that. Okay. All right, so we have this one. Okay. Now, what I have set up, and I'll explain this, you'll see the colors kind of go together. Reverb. The decay. So if you want the decay to be like, if you want to do like a bass throw, you put up like 4 seconds, and you can automate. Boom. Great way to add space. I'll make sure I delete all this stuff so nothing is. Okay. You have chorus, which chorus just kind of detunes, right? So you have. You can mess with the feedback. So if you need to add more space, that's a good way of doing it as well, or you can use Ascend. Echo's great. I love using echo towards the end of my drop. Say this is my last hit in my drop. I'm just gonna echo it out. This. And it's really nice. And you can obviously mess with the rate and all that stuff as well. Another thing is just delay. I don't remember what it is off the get-go. Let's check it out. It's just standard 1/4. So kind of like the vocal here. So here you go again. Down and then go up. It's just kind of like the echo as well, but you can change that to shorter or faster depending on whatever you want. And then this is just gain, obviously. Okay. So, phenomenal, really great resource, super easy to use. And it's all right there for you. You can put that in the other sense as well, which, you know what? I'm going to do that for you guys. That added, let's collapse everything as well, make everything look nice and neat. Non-drop group as sidechain sense. There we go. Automate. Okay, cool. And you'll just notice the drop is -14 instead of -15, like I said. And finally, we go to the master. So utility is turned up 12, like I said, leaves you a little bit of headroom. But if you need to leave a lot of headroom, boom, turn it off. Or if you have it at a good place, then it's good to go. I have bass mono 150, so anything under 150 hertz is going to be strictly mono. We like that. We don't want phasing in our sub in. Next, you'll notice I have an EQ. I have mids 20, and then you notice I have the sides cut at like 150, which this pretty much does, but this just makes sure of it, and this should be at the end. You'll notice a glue compressor as well. What I generally like to do with my mixes, and everyone does it different, so don't come for me if it's different, but let me see if I can pull in this song real quick. Okay. Say this is my song. Hopefully it's not too loud. Yeah, it is. Okay, so let's turn this down 15 real quick, because I forgot. Okay. What I like to do, and this is not really insane mastering advice, but if you need to know how to get something louder, you want this settings, and then you're going to pull down your threshold till you start seeing it tick. It's good there, and you can boost the difference. And now what you're doing is you're compressing the peaks, and then you're boosting it all together, and then you're soft clipping it, which just makes everything nice and level. And that's the way I would look at it at the end. Like I said, that's not the greatest mastering advice ever. It's just a good, easy way to make something loud and make sure it's soft clipped properly. And this will make sure you have nothing in your low end that's phasing. So really simple mastering chain, but all you really need. So I know this was a long explanation in this video, and I hope you guys found it useful. Like I said, the link will be down below for you to grab this. And if you have any questions on how to use it, like if I went over something a little too quick or something, you know, just comment down below and I'll take care of you. If you have any ideas for upcoming videos that you would like to see, feel free to let me know. I would love to help anyone with whatever they're kind of struggling with. So other than that, I hope you guys have a hope you guys have a great rest of your day or night, and I'll catch you in the next video. Take care.